5 reasons why Scorpio is the most intense sign. There's one sign that can literally feel your presence through the screen right now. If you're a Scorpio, or know someone of this sign, you know what I'm talking about. That penetrating gaze, that intensity that makes your heart race, even from a distance. In the next 30 minutes, you'll discover exactly why Scorpio isn't just another intense sign. They are the master of intensity. And what I'm about to reveal in the 5th reason, it will explain why you can never forget a Scorpio who has crossed your path. But beware, if you are a Scorpio, prepare to recognize yourself in ways you may have never experienced. And if you live with one, these revelations might completely change how you understand that person. Stay until the end, because the 5th reason, that one will shake the deep structures of your soul. Shall we begin? Chapter 1. The flame that never dies. Imagine for a moment a flame that has burned for thousands of years, that survived storms, earthquakes, floods, and continues burning with the same intensity as the first day. This flame is the soul of Scorpio. In cosmic silence, when stars whisper secrets to those who know how to listen, Scorpio emerges as the guardian of the Zodiac's purest intensity. You who are a Scorpio. Have you ever wondered why everything in your life seems to happen in high voltage? Why your joy is almost ecstasy, your pain almost unbearable? And your love? Your love is capable of moving mountains or destroying worlds. First revelation. The answer has been written in the stars since the beginning of time. But few know this truth. Scorpio isn't just a sign of intensity. They are intensity personified. They are what happens when the universe decides to concentrate all passion, all mystery, all transformative force into a single essence. In the upcoming revelations, you'll understand why. Scorpio feels emotions like no one else can. Why their magnetism is almost supernatural. Why they see depths that others don't even know exist. Why they rise from their own ashes repeatedly. And why they possess a power that few comprehend. If you seek to understand the deepest mysteries of the Zodiac, subscribe to the channel now, because what comes next will reveal secrets that might explain your entire existence. Let's go to the 1st reason, and get ready, because this will explain why Scorpios live as if each day were their last. 1st reason, emotions in flames, the soul's bonfire. Scorpio doesn't feel emotions. They live them. They breathe them. They become them. Astrologically, there's a fascinating explanation for this. Scorpio is the only sign ruled by 2 war planets, Mars, the planet of raw passion and conquest, and Pluto, the lord of transformation and abysses. Imagine what happens when these 2 forces meet in a single soul. It's as if every Scorpio carries a volcano inside their chest. On the outside, it might look like a serene mountain, but inside, the tectonic plates of the soul are in constant movement, accumulating energy, pressure, intensity, until, pause, the eruption happens. In practice, this means Scorpio can't live halfway. They can't love a little, dedicate themselves a little, or dream a little. For Scorpio, it's either all or nothing. They love as if it were the last love on earth, cry as if the pain were eternal, and fight as if each battle decided humanity's fate. If you are a Scorpio, answer honestly. Have you ever felt too intense for this world? As if your emotions were too big to fit in your chest? But intense emotions are just the beginning. Because the 2nd reason will reveal why Scorpio possesses a magnetism that borders on the supernatural, that invisible power that makes people approach, even afraid of what they might find. 2nd reason, the invisible power that attracts. Now let's talk about something that even other signs admit through gritted teeth. Scorpio possesses a magnetism that defies all laws of social physics. Have you noticed? Scorpio doesn't need to shout to be heard. Doesn't need to gesture to get attention, doesn't even need to speak. And yet, all eyes turn to them when they enter a room. This isn't coincidence. This isn't learned charm. This is raw cosmic power. Astrologically, this magnetism comes from Scorpio's unique connection to the 8th house, the house of secrets, death and rebirth, hidden mysteries. While other signs live on the surface of existence, Scorpio has access to reality's backstage. They see what's really happening. And people feel this. They feel that they know something they don't know. Scorpio is like a moonless night, illuminated only by distant stars. You can't see everything clearly, but something inside you wants to approach that mysterious darkness. It's fascination and fear mixed together. It's attraction and apprehension walking hand in hand. It's the mystery that whispers, "Come closer," if you have the courage. In practical life, this translates into situations you've probably witnessed. Scorpio enters a party, and even staying quiet in the corner, people gravitate around them like planets orbiting the sun. Scorpio speaks a single sentence in a meeting, and that sentence changes the entire direction of the conversation. Scorpio looks into your eyes for 3 seconds, and you feel they just read your soul, like an open book. But here's the secret few notice. Scorpio's magnetism is most powerful when they're silent, because it's in silence that they allow their energy to speak. And Scorpio's energy, it shouts truths that words could never express. If you live with a Scorpio, answer in the comments. Have you felt this magnetism firsthand? Have you caught yourself being attracted to someone of this sign without being able to explain why? But magnetism is just the gateway, because the 3rd reason will reveal what really happens when you decide to dive into a Scorpio's depths. Get ready, because there's no turning back. Chapter 3, The Depth of the Soul. 3rd reason, the dive into the depths. Scorpio doesn't live on the surface. Can't. Doesn't want to. For Scorpio, living without depth is like trying to breathe underwater. It's impossible. It's suffocating. It's a living death. Have you ever wondered why shallow conversations drain a Scorpio's energy? Why they become visibly uncomfortable when the topic doesn't go beyond weather or work? The answer lies in Pluto's rulership, the planet that governs the underworld, hidden mysteries, that which is buried in existence's deepest layers. Scorpio was born to explore these layers. It's their cosmic mission. Imagine an oceanic depths explorer. They don't want to know about surface waves. They want to discover what extraordinary creatures live where sunlight never reached. This is Scorpio with people. They don't want to know your profession, your age, or where you came from. They want to know what keeps you awake at 3 a.m. What's the fear you've never admitted to anyone? What's the dream you believe is impossible? This need for depth gives Scorpio a superpower that few possess, the ability to see people's souls without social masks. While other signs converse with the persona you created for the world, Scorpio speaks directly to who you are when nobody's watching. And this scares and liberates at the same time. The experience of being seen by Scorpio. If you've ever been truly seen by a Scorpio, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's that feeling of being completely naked, even clothed, of having your secrets read without telling any, of feeling understood in a way you'd never experienced. Is it scary? Yes. Is it liberating? Even more so. For Scorpio, relating on the surface is like trying to quench thirst with salt water. The more you drink, the thirstier you get. That's why they prefer to have few true relationships than many empty ones. Quality always over quantity. Depth always over popularity. If you are a Scorpio, have you ever felt lonely in the middle of a crowd because nobody wanted to talk about things that really matter? If you know a Scorpio, have you noticed how they become different when the conversation finally goes deep? But diving into depths is only part of the story, because the 4th reason will reveal what happens when Scorpio finds darkness at the bottom of that dive, and how they do something that seems impossible, rise from their own ashes. Chapter 4, The Force of Transformation. If you want to understand Scorpio's true intensity, you need to comprehend one thing. They don't just live crises, they devour them, and emerge on the other side stronger, always. There's a reason why Scorpio is associated with the phoenix in esoteric astrology. It's not poeticism. It's cosmic reality. The phoenix doesn't die and be reborn once in life. It does this repeatedly, and each rebirth is more powerful than the previous one. So it is with Scorpio. For them, transformation isn't an event. It's a lifestyle. Pluto, Scorpio's ruler, is known as the Great Destroyer. But few understand that this destruction isn't malevolent. It's like a cosmic surgeon who removes what's rotting so the healthy can flourish. Scorpio understands intuitively that some things need to die for others to be born, and they have the courage to let die. Imagine a forest that catches fire. Most people see only destruction, tragedy, end. But Scorpio, they see what comes after the fire. They see soil rich in nutrients, ready to germinate seeds that had been sleeping for decades. They see the new forest, more diverse, stronger, more beautiful than the previous one. In real life, this manifests in impressive ways. Scorpio loses a job and discovers a vocation they didn't know they had. Scorpio ends a relationship and finds a version of themselves that had been hidden for years. Scorpio faces an illness and emerges with wisdom about life that few possess. But here's what makes Scorpio unique. They don't just survive storms. They dance in the rain. They find beauty in chaos. They discover strength in vulnerability. Other signs ask, why is this happening to me? Scorpio asks, what is this trying to teach me? This ability to rise from their own ashes gives Scorpio a superpower few comprehend, the absence of fear of starting over. They know they can lose everything and still rebuild an even more extraordinary life. This certainty, this unshakable confidence in their own rebirth capacity, is what makes them intense even in moments of apparent calm. If you are a Scorpio, how many times have you completely reinvented yourself? How many different lives have you lived in this single existence? If you know a Scorpio, have you witnessed one of these transformations? Have you seen someone literally rise from the ashes before your eyes? But even the capacity for infinite transformation isn't the most powerful reason. The fifth and final reason will reveal Scorpio's best-kept secret, the power that explains everything you just discovered. Prepare yourself, because this revelation might forever change how you view destiny. Fifth reason, the guardian of invisible threads. We've reached the final revelation, the deepest, most mysterious, most transformative reason of all. Scorpio isn't just intense because they feel too much, attract too much, dive too deep, or transform too much. Scorpio is intense because they have access to something few signs possess, the power to influence destiny. Have you noticed how life seems to happen around Scorpio differently? How coincidences multiply when they're around? How situations take unexpected turns when they get involved? How people make choices they would never make until they meet a Scorpio? This isn't luck. This isn't coincidence. This is pure power. Pluto, Scorpio's hidden ruler, doesn't just govern personal transformation. It governs collective transformation. Scorpio has the unique ability to touch the invisible threads that connect all things. And when they touch these threads, the entire universe vibrates. They don't just live their own story. They influence the story of everyone around them. Imagine a conductor leading an invisible symphony. They don't play any instrument, but all musicians respond to their gestures. This is Scorpio. They don't force anyone to do anything, but their mere presence alters the vibrational frequency of everything around. People make decisions, situations resolve, destinies intertwine. And at the center of everything, there they are, silent, powerful, transforming realities. In real life, you've witnessed this power without even realizing. Scorpio enters a dysfunctional family, and suddenly everyone starts confronting truths they'd avoided for years. Scorpio joins a work group, and projects that had been stuck for months begin to flow. Scorpio starts a relationship, and both people discover aspects of themselves they didn't know existed. But here's something few understand about Scorpio. this power comes with a price. They know their choices don't just affect them. They create waves that spread through generations. Hence the intensity, hence the seriousness, hence that feeling that they carry the weight of the world on their shoulders. Because, in many ways, they really do. Now you understand why Scorpio is the Zodiac's most intense sign. It's not just because they feel intensely. It's not just because they attract intensely. It's not just because they dive intensely. It's not just because they transform intensely. It's because they live intensely, knowing that every thought, every emotion, every choice can change the course of history. If you are a Scorpio, now you know why you sometimes feel overwhelmed by life. It's not because you're dramatic. It's because you're tuned into forces most people don't even notice. If you live with a Scorpio, now you understand why they take everything so seriously, why every conversation seems to have cosmic weight, why being beside them sometimes feels like being in the eye of the hurricane. Scorpio teaches us that intensity isn't a flaw to be corrected. It's a gift to be understood and honored. Revisiting our journey, we discovered that Scorpio is intense because 1. They feel with flames running through their veins. 2. They attract with supernatural magnetism. 3. They dive into the depths of the soul. 4. They rise from ashes repeatedly. 5. They touch the threads of destiny. Together, these 5 forces make Scorpio not just a zodiac sign, but a force of nature in human form. Now I ask directly to you. If you are a Scorpio, will you keep apologizing for your intensity? Or will you finally embrace the power that runs through your veins? If you live with Scorpios, will you keep trying to extinguish their flame? Or will you learn to dance with fire? Leave in the comments, which of these 5 reasons impacted you most? Which one explains something about you or someone you know? Your experience might be exactly the revelation another person needs to hear today. If this journey touched your soul, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Share this video with those special Scorpios in your life. They deserve to know how extraordinary they are. And if you want to dive even deeper into the Zodiac's mysteries, stay tuned, because the secrets of the stars are just beginning to be revealed. Remember, in a world of candles, Scorpio is the wildfire, and the world needs more wildfires.